point of view. You've just woken up. It's a brilliant day, and it's only just gotten better as Sidwaj has just uploaded. What's going on? My name is Sidwaj. Blah 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 blah. And there's only 2 hours left to the Crew 2 post on their social media. So you go on their social media. They're adding the Maserati Alfieri. Hooray! You're ecstatic. You check the comments. People must be excited about the Alfieri. Add the Supra? That must be a one-off. Check some other posts. Oh no. It's everywhere.
Please add Subaru, or I'm not Supra. LFA, LC 500.
No! God, please, no! No!
I guess I'll just have to explain it myself. Well, what's going on? My name is Sid, and today I'm here to help explain and give some clarity on just why the Supra might not be in the Crew 2 and why it could never come to the Crew 2. Because there's a bunch of reasons that a lot of people don't really realize, don't really think about, and instead just comment, please give me the Supra, as if Ivory Tower has any control over that. Trust me, if the guys at Ivory Tower could add the Supra, we would have the Supra. They're not going out of their way to not add it. And you know what? I'm sick of seeing add the Supra at the bottom of every single comment section. So if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, wherever, and you just see an add the Supra or an add any other insert car, feel free to link this video to them in the replies, of course. But yes, so why the Supra isn't in the Crew 2? Well, first of all, let's begin with the brand of the Supra, that being Toyota. Because if anywhere is gonna have blame for why the Supra isn't in the Crew 2, it's Toyota. And I know that's a bold claim to say it's not the game company who's not adding a car, it's the actual, you know, the car company. But let me hear this out. See, originally, Need for Speed had the Supra, and many other games had the Supra. Games were just getting the Supra left, right, and goddamn center. Until Toyota, the backwards company that they are, decided that, people aren't buying our cars because they're in video games. Huh? Excuse me? So they pull out their cars from most video games and they'll leave them in a select few, that being the likes of Gran Turismo, etc. And even from Forza they pulled out. But yes, what they're sort of saying, the reason going around was that they felt that people were not buying their cars because their cars were in video games. The amount of people who like the Supra because they played it in a video game and bought the Supra because they played it in a video game, it just makes no sense to me. And that's just the beginning of how backwards of a company Toyota really is. It's unfortunate, but it is unfortunately one of the reasons. And the next thing is that there was a tweet at one point where someone asked the official Toyota account why they were unable to play the Supra in their favorite racing game. And the official Toyota UK account replied, I can only assume on script or at least on company quota. They replied that you can find our cars in games that don't feature illegal street racing. Now, they initially did then double back the day after they put out tweets apologizing and saying, oh, they'd love to be in games like that, but the higher-ups don't really want them at the moment. But clearly, this was some company quota at some point. Whether it was just a loose justification, it has something to do with something. And think about that for a moment. Toyota doesn't want their cars featured in games with illegal street racing. Now, you may cry, Sidwaj, the Supra is in Forza. It's in Forza Horizon 4 and it's goddamn in Forza Horizon 5. Well, yeah, because even the street racing scene in Forza Horizon, the street racing scene is still held under Forzathon. Everything in that game is plausibly deniable as being under Forzathon. It's all within that sort of bubble of, hey, we're racing, but we're doing it for this party thing, which that's their saving grace. That's their square bracket clause of why Forza is able to have the Supra. There is other reasons that I will get onto in a minute, but yes, games not wanting to be featured in illegal street racing. And let me tell you guys this. Have you played The Crew 2? Because if you play any of the most played specs, the street specs, if you play any of it, you'll notice that the entire story during the entire thing is combating between Latrell and Tio. See, every spec has its own conflict. The freestyle is Elliot wanting to be safe, and Sophia wanting to have fun, Wade wanting fame, and Tuck wanting to explore and love life, because Tuck's an absolute legend. And the pro racing scene has Alexis, who wants to advance the pro racing genre, and Clarence, who wants to stick to what he's known for. Well, in the street racing scene, the conflict literally is illegal versus illegal street racing. If I had a penny for every time in my 3,000 hours of playing this game that I had heard the words "going legit" in this game, going meaning not currently, meaning the entirety of the street racing scene is mostly illegal racing until Latrell decides to want to make it legal. And this is most notable in the Accident Street Race, which I can teleport over to now. See, the Accident Street Race is one of the few races in this game, such as Latrell's Part 1 and 2, that have lore to them. See, because the Accident Street Race follows a story where one of the racers that you are racing with crashes, and you halfway through the race have to get him to the hospital. And see, the thing is, in the end cutscene, which you'll see here, so spoilers for this event, I guess, is Latrell saying if we were playing this legit and not illegal street racing, he might have survived. There you go. Illegal street racing is a massive part of the Crew 2 story. So it's just sort of unfeasible for Toyota to look past it unless the Crew 3 goes head on into, this is definitely not illegal street racing. It's all legal. That's why there's no Supra in Need for Speed. Because Toyota is a backwards company that doesn't want their cars featured in games with illegal street racing. So that's just what it is, unfortunately. As you can see, Crew story, illegal street racing, meaning, there you go. So, oh yeah, this guy dies. But the Crew has their own official FAQ list of things, list of reasons why the Supra can't be in the game. And I will go over those real quick. I just want to mention one thing. Say we live in the dark timeline and the Supra is added to the Crew 2. Toyota overlooked everything and they decided that, yeah, sure, we'll add the Supra to the Crew 2, we'll let them. Because, again, Ivory Tower would love to add the car, but no, Toyota won't let them. Imagine the Supra is added, okay? For one, concurrence on the game would not change. People treat the Supra like it's the one thing that's gonna save the game. It is not. The game has its own issues, its own problems, its own gameplay bugs, features, and things that need changing, like the PvP system, etc. The Supra would have 14-year-olds called Kyle playing for like 3 days, and then they'd give up with the game again. On the same topic of that, let's talk about the people who mainly play the game. Say you're someone who consistently plays the game a lot and enjoys playing it, and you want cars, and you want to be on top, you know. Say the Supra's added. Most cars that are added into this game become instantly irrelevant when they're not the best vehicle in the spec. Well, the Supra in real life is for one, it's old. Well, if this is, of course, the Mark IV. No, this doesn't count for the yellow one, but the rest of the things do. It's old. There's no engine swaps. It's rear-wheel drive. Again, completely against the traits of a meta vehicle, such as the Gallardo, the Audi R8, vehicles like that. It's rear-wheel drive. It is manual in real life, meaning it will have slow gearing. It will have granny shifting, as it's referred to in the Crew 2, where it rev bangs and whenever you try nitro, and then when you switch gears on the rev banging, it doesn't work because it's still technically in the last gear. It would be insanely slidey round turns. It would barely have any power. It would be a terrible car. And it's not that wide either. It's quite a thin car. And the wider the car in the Crew 2, the better the handling. That's just how the Crew's physics are. So it would be pointless. It would be a forgettable addition to the game. People would customize it, drive it for a day, and then give up on the game again. If the Supra was added to the Crew 2, it would be pointless. That is what I am saying. However, let's get on to the official Crew 2 server FAQ on why the Supra isn't in the game. So one on the FAQ is the manufacturer does not want the vehicle to be in the game. There you go. That's the first topic I touched on, where Toyota, it's not Ivory Tower's fault. So please, stop commenting on Ivory Tower, the Crew 2's posts for the Supra. No one cares, okay? Especially if you're commenting, oh, we want the Supra, why won't you listen to us? It's just you and like 2 other guys. And same with any other car. Like, why are you messaging the Crew? Message the car brands. Again, if Ivory Tower could, they'd love to add the Supra. Second thing, the manufacturers set too high of a price for the license. So, seeing as recently Ubisoft took the Crew off of their earning reports. So the Crew isn't even one of Ubisoft's listed earning reports. As well as the budget for the game just seeming like it's just slowly declining. With Ubisoft treating them like a subpar subsidiary and them just not having the budget. We're not talking about Microsoft here. We're not talking about like any other company here. Like even EA, at least EA gives budget to Need for Speed. We're talking about Ubisoft, the company that's literally becoming the new EA. And we're talking about how they treat their subsidiaries. They don't give budget for the Supra when Toyota would set such an astronomically high license for. Toyota might be a completely backwards company in how they're like making their business practices when it comes to adding cars into video games with the whole illegal street racing and everything I've mentioned, but they're not a dumb company. They know how much their cars are worth. They know how much their licenses are worth, and what they're worth is more than just a cheap little license. They're not exactly Ford, they're not exactly Chevrolet, they're not exactly KTM, which will just throw their cars at Ivory Tower. They're Toyota, the most pretentiously backwards company in existence. Third thing, the manufacturer license requirements conflict with another license. See, it's along the same lines of how the Crew 2 didn't have official police in the game. Because illegal activity, after the Forza Horizon series grew to popularity, car manufacturers realized that they can be in video games without it having to negatively affect on their vehicles as illegal street racers. And because of that, the restrictions for licenses are hard to manage. Like, think about this as the Crew 2. Mr. Please add the BMW default thing that looks exactly like every other BMW. Please add the G-Wagon. Please add the Supra. Please think for a hot second how getting a car isn't as simple as just, can we please have the Supra, pretty please? Please? There's a lot of other license conflicting. A lot of license conflicting. The Supra might ask for, I don't know, we want to be in the game, but make our car the fastest in the spec. Or make our car unable to be seen with a police car. Like, why is that sign like that? Kind of cool. It's just little things like that. Licenses are hard things to manage. And when we're running on Ubisoft pretending like this is a AAA game, we're not treating them like a AAA subsidiary, it's a bit harder. On top of that, when it comes to getting licenses, see, allegedly, the Crew 3 is already in development. When the Crew's already going on 4 years old now, and we're coming near Ubi Forward next year, the Crew 3 is safe to assume it's already in development, especially with how some of the stuff done recently in the game is done in a way where it seems that it's just done to be done, and not done to work on the game, instead done so they have more time to work on something else. So we can safely assume and hope, fingers crossed, that the Crew 3 is already in development. Why spend an expensive license that's gonna barely have people playing the game any more than they already are, when they could instead get a license for an entirely new game and use it for the promotional material for a new game? It's just terrible timing for the Supra as well. On top of that, manufacturer license conflicts with game vision. There you go. Just another way of saying the exact same thing where I mentioned manufacturer does not want to be in the game. Manufacturer, I don't want to be in a legal street racing game. Well, too bad. The Crew kind of has that going for it. I don't want to be in a game where you can put vanities on the car. Too bad. That's what the Crew is. Like, Ferrari is the car that sends cease and desists to people when they paint their Ferraris pink. Yet, in the Crew, they have a deal where they just hand select the vanities, and then that's fine. And then we still get to use them. But no. There's still car companies that wouldn't want to be in the game because of the vanities. Like, I just, like, fellas, at the end of the day, all I say here is, like, sit there for a minute and process who you're asking for the Supra. Should you be spamming the Crew's replies for the Supra? Or the G-Wagon? Or the Charger Red Eye Hellcat? Or the Lamborghini Urus? Is it the Crew you should be spamming? Or is it the actual companies who give the license? Do you really think Ivory Tower sat there like, no, we're not gonna add the Supra. No, we're not gonna, no G-Wagon. We're not gonna do it. No, we're not going to. Think, Kyle, think. You know what? That's just what it is. It's an unfortunate thing because it just happens again and again and again, and I see it all the time. It's like, just stop, please stop commenting that, okay? That's about it from me, boys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope it brought to light why some licenses can't be in the game. That is about it from me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video because I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much to the popular members. A special thank you to the famous members. And an insane thank you to Icon member for the love of life. Oh, pardon me. That is about it from me, boys. I hope you guys... I think I already said that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it. In a bit.
My heart spills, so I'm cleaning up a mess. mess, yeah. I gotta go to church, feel the demons at my neck, yeah. When I'm on a pill, I be feeling like I'm blessed, it's a curse. When I'm on the drugs, I'm the worst, shawty. Tell me how it feels, tell me does it hurt. Tell me if it's wrong when I'm lifting up your shirt, shawty. Tell me if it's real, or would you leave me in the dirt?